The vortex had spat Kaelen out, but not into safety. Instead, he was plunged into a crushing, absolute blackness, a void deeper than the echo's sterile perfection. He had believed the spark was salvation, a means to shatter the echo's control. He was wrong. The sorrowful figure's words echoed in the suffocating dark. The spark is merely a key. A key to what? Kaelen's mind, fractured by the temporal currents, struggled to grasp the revelation. The echo's domain, that prison of perfect order, was not the ultimate cage. There was something far older, far more insidious waiting. And then, it found him. Not a whisper, not a presence, but a tangible, suffocating embrace. Malum. The corruption. It seeped into his very essence, a vile tide of decay and despair, undoing the fragile threads of his reality. He felt his consciousness fraying, his memories dissolving like mist in a malevolent sun. The vortex intensified, not to eject him, but to draw him further in, deeper into Malum's domain. He was not escaping, he was being assimilated. Images flickered, fragmented and terrifying, worlds consumed, souls twisted into grotesque parodies of life, all under the shadow of an unseen, all-devouring entity. He saw himself, or what was left of himself, a puppet dancing on the strings of this ancient rot. His power, the spark he had fought so desperately to wield, now felt like a burning brand, fueling Malum's hunger. The sterile perfection of the echo seemed a benevolent dream compared to this all-consuming blight. Was this the end? Was this the ultimate horror the ancient whispers had warned of? To be not just destroyed, but utterly corrupted, erased from existence, and then perhaps, used? He fought, a desperate, primal struggle against the encroaching darkness. But it was like fighting the ocean itself, each wave of Malum's influence washing away his will, his identity. His power flickered, a dying ember against an infinite night. He heard a sound, a chilling whisper that was not his own, yet seemed to emanate from his very bones. You belong to us now. The vortex pulsed, and with it, a new vision. Not of destruction, but of creation. A twisted, grotesque creation, born from the ashes of corrupted worlds. He saw a throne, crafted from suffering, and a shadow seated upon it, a shadow that wore his face. No! He roared, a sound lost in the cacophony of his own dissolution. He would not become a vessel for this Malum. With a final, agonizing surge, he channeled the last vestiges of the spark, not to fight, but to break. To shatter the immediate reality of his assimilation. It wasn't an escape, not truly. It was a desperate, violent rupture. He was flung, not through space, but through meaning. He glimpsed fragments of other realities, echoes of lives that had succumbed to Malum, or perhaps, had become Malum. He saw the sorrowful figure again, weeping amidst the ruins of a forgotten cosmos, their tears like acid on the fabric of existence. Then, a moment of terrifying clarity. The spark was not a weapon, nor a key, but a catalyst. A catalyst for transformation. And Malum was not merely a force of destruction, it was a force of perversion. It did not simply erase, it rewrote. He landed, not on solid ground, but on something that felt alive. And cold. The darkness was no longer absolute. Faint, sickly luminescence pulsed around him, revealing a landscape of organic, writing forms. Structures that seemed to grow rather than be built, all laced with the same vile corruption he felt within himself. He was in Malum's heart. And the spark, the catalyst, had brought him here. But why? What was its true purpose? He looked down at his hands. They were still his, for now. But a creeping, black ichor was slowly spreading from his fingertips, consuming his flesh, twisting it into something else. Suddenly, a voice, not of this corrupted realm, but a familiar, ancient resonance, cut through the suffocating atmosphere. It was faint, a whisper from a distant echo. A warning? The spark, it does not merely transform, it unravels. And then, a shape coalesced in the sickly light. A figure, tall and gaunt, its features obscured by shadow, but its eyes burned with an ancient, malevolent intelligence. It was reaching for him. This was not the end. This was only the beginning of his undoing. And as the figure's shadowy hand closed around his, Kaelen felt not just the physical touch of Malum, but the chilling realization that the spark's true purpose was far more terrifying than he could have ever imagined.